Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Front Row Access Podcast. I am your host, Steven Russo.
I'm Anthony.
Let's fucking go. All right, so UFC 300, guys, it's on the horizon.
It's finally here.
It's finally here. After a bunch of Mez fight nights and a tremendous UFC 299, it's finally fucking here. UFC 300, another centennial event for the UFC, and holy fuck. Dana White got in that fucking kitchen, and my boy cooked. And he cooked hard for this card. Top to bottom, from the first early prelim to the main event. Absolutely stacked. And, so we're going to, intro the card, how crazy it is. These prelims are absolutely amazing. It's extremely important, this entire event.
We've got a lot of fights to go through.
And we got a lot of fights to go through, and I'm not trying to take up too much of your time, so we're just going to get right into the first early prelim starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on the East Coast on ESPN+. For free, you get to see Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt.
Figueiredo!
My guy, these are two former champions in their respective divisions. Cody Garbrandt's a former 135 champion, and obviously we know Deiveson Figueiredo from his stint for the flyweight title against Brandon Moreno, which he would ultimately lose in a fucking quadrilogy. So, I mean, both guys, very good fighters. Cody Garbrandt is the older champion here. He defeated Dominic Cruz back in 2016 for the bantamweight title. Dominic Cruz is widely regarded to be the best bantamweight to do it, and it was Cody Garbrandt the one to, dethrone this crazy champion, one of the best champions, and actually the best champion if you want to look at the stats. And so that was in 2016, and Deiveson Figueiredo won his flyweight title because Henry Cejudo decided to win a 135 title and say deuces after that, so leaving the flyweight division without a champion. So Deiveson Figueiredo went against Joseph Benavidez, and he would beat Joseph Benavidez for the vacant title in 2020, and he would beat him again in the rematch. Then, you know how the lineage goes from here. Deiveson Figueiredo would face Moreno in the end of that year to a draw. Then he faced Moreno again and lost by a rear naked choke. Then he fought Moreno again, and he won by a decision. Then he fought Brandon Moreno again, and then this time he lost by a TKO. And that was...
I feel like that whole time he was just like, put me back in, coach. Put me back in.
Probably, honestly. And meanwhile, Cody Garbrandt would lose to TJ Dillashaw in his first title defense after beating Dominic Cruz, and then he would also lose to Mr. TJ Dillashaw again, the CEO of EPO, TJ Dillashaw. And, both of these guys are coming off of pretty big wins. Yeah, they are. Figueiredo's coming off a win against Rob Font in his bantamweight debut. The biggest question going into that fight was whether or not Deiveson Figueiredo's power would trade off from flyweight into 135, and it sure as hell did. He wobbled Rob Font a couple of times, and Rob Font has a pretty granite chin behind him. So, in fact, that he wobbled him, and I think he even knocked him down once. He looked great in the fight against Rob Font. He was able to break through and get the win in his debut at bantamweight, starting his run for the title. And Garbrandt is actually on a 2-fight winning streak right now. He's I'm forgetting who he beat right now, but he is on a 2-fight winning streak after going on a somewhat pretty big losing streak, like a 3-fight losing streak. But now he's on the come up again, and now he's going to be greeted by Deiveson Figueiredo in Figueiredo's second ever bantamweight fight. Now, both of these guys are pretty exciting. They're both pretty powerful. Cody Garbrandt's a little bit faster, I would say, than Deiveson Figueiredo, but Deiveson Figueiredo has got the power, and he's displayed it plenty of times. And as far as a prediction is concerned, honestly, y'all give me Deiveson Figueiredo for this one. I think he's going to win by a TKO in the second round.
I wish I could go with you there, but it's just, I know he looked good in his debut, but I want to make sure that wasn't just a fluke, so I'm going to go Garbrandt for this one.
Going to go Garbrandt?
Yeah.
By what way?
I think it will be decision.
Going to be a decision for Garbrandt, so you're thinking a war. I mean, a battle between two former champions to start off the card on the first early prelim. That's fucking crazy.
It's going to be awesome.
That would main event any fight night. Garbrandt, Figueiredo, would main event any fight night. This is an early prelim. The first fight of the night is between two former champions. That's fucking crazy, and how awesome this UFC 300 card is going to be. But before we go any further, can't believe I neglected to do this right beforehand. But Pepsi, hit me up. We got your product here. We got Baja Blast. We got Frostbite, this little blueberry flavored Frostbite here. Of course, the tropical lime from Baja Blast, and of course, we got the Prime bottle here. Logan Paul, congrats on your retention at WrestleMania. I fucking called it. And you know, hit me up because I like your product and I need money.
I think that podcast is a bit more known and successful than ours right now.
I need money.
We'll get there.
Yes, we will. We'll be better than you one day, unless you sponsor us.
So.
But Pepsi Prime, give me money, please. I love you. All right. Anyway, second fight of the night, another banger. Ready for this one, guys? Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. Two veterans, guys. These guys have been at it for years. They've fought a multitude of people. They don't always win, but they always show up. Type deal. Jim Miller's coming off of a win, and I think he currently holds the record for most time in the octagon just because dude has been around for a million years. And I also think he has the most UFC wins, once again, because dude has been around for years. So naturally, as you progress, it'll get better and better, and you're just going to hold more and more records. And this dude at 41, 42 years old is still killing it. I mean, he's coming off of a win off of a young kid that was in his second or third fight in the UFC. So, I mean, Jim Miller's still hanging in there with some of these young guys. And I got to say, this dude has stuck around for a very, very long time, and I'm impressed. And nothing but respect for the guy, And he's also fought on UFC 100 and UFC 200, and now he's about to fight on UFC 300. Just goes to show how fucking long this dude's been around for.
You gonna go see him on 400?
By then he's probably gonna be in his early 50s, so probably not. But that'd be kind of dope if he did. But I think this is the last centennial event that Jim Miller will be at. Now, one thing that is really intriguing people about this fight right here is Jim Miller has been pretty open to the fact that he wants Bruce Buffer to announce him as, instead of Jim A10 Miller, which is his normal nickname, he wants to just be pronounced as Jim fucking Miller. So, will Bruce Buffer do it? I think he might. I think he might. It's Jim Miller. This is the last time we're probably going to see him on a centennial event, if not the last time ever. Let's be honest, any fight could be his last these days.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could see him retiring after this.
I could.
Lose.
Win or lose, he could just retire here just to say that he fought on all three centennial events. But you never know. Any fight that Jim Miller goes into these days could be his last one. This one is not excluded. So, I mean, if it is the last time we're going to see Jim fucking Miller, let's announce him as Jim fucking Miller, all right, Bruce Buffer? Like you're going to be watching the Front Row Access podcast. Jeez. But one can hope, right? And now, also, Bobby Green. This punk. I'm not a Bobby Green guy. I'm an eternal hater of Bobby Green.
Eternal hatred for Bobby Green.
I have eternal hatred for Bobby Green. And, but he's been around for forever too. I got to give him his flowers. He's definitely beaten some top guys. He's definitely fought some of the who's who in the lightweight division: Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson, many more. But just to name a few, those two are in mind. But he had a decent 2-fight winning streak going for himself, beating Tony Ferguson in that 2-fight winning streak, but then ultimately losing by a knockout from Jalen Turner, which was stopped way too fucking late. As much as I'm going to clown on this guy and hope that he fucking loses, that ref should be fucking fired. And Bobby Green was out, then he was out, then he woke up, then he went out again. It took the ref that long to pull Jalen Turner off of Bobby Green. That's some bullshit, all right? We'll also get into Jalen Turner later on. He's also on this card. But it's just been Bobby Green coming off that knockout win. I mean, he is 38 years old, 39 years old to this point, and Jim Miller is like 40, 41. So, I mean, they're both older in the sport. And you never know which way this could go. I actually think this will be a pretty good fight. Bobby Green is a slight favorite here, but I'm going to have to go against the slight favorite and say that Jim Miller wins this by a submission. Don't know when, but submission.
I got Miller for this. I don't know if he'll put it away with submission, but I'll say that won't make it to decision.
It'll make it to a decision, but
No, it
Jim
won't make it to decision.
won't make it to. So
Miller's got this.
so you're calling for a finish.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, so I think Jim Miller's got this. I know Bobby Green's the favorite here, but I'm gonna have to go against it. I think Jim Miller's got this. I trust in the man. I trust in the man, the myth, and the legend. So here we go.
Jim fucking Miller.
Jim fucking Miller. Anyway, so next up on the card, it's another big fight right here. We got our first women's fight of the night, and it's between two absolute killers. This one is Jessica Andrade, former strawweight champion. No, strawweight or flyweight champion. I forget which one. One of those weight divisions. And Marina Rodriguez. So both are coming off of wins after having a 2-fight losing streak, which I think is kind of funny going into this. And the matchmakers did a good job putting these two together, because that takes a lot of hyper analysis for that. But they're both coming off of wins. First wins after 2-fight losing streaks. Both are great strikers. Both of them got power. Yeah, I don't think I really need to talk about Jessica Andrade much. She may be small, but she is mighty. Girl's got the power. Girl could put my lights out. Girl could put Anthony's lights out probably. And Marina Rodriguez, very good striker as well, but just not at the same level of Jessica Andrade. And Marina is older. She's 34 years old, while Jessica Andrade, I believe, is 31 or 32. So Jessica Andrade's still young in her career and already an ex-champion. So she's never counted out of the title picture and always a couple of fights away from eventually getting one. She just has to settle on one division. And because she hops between all three of them. I don't know exactly which division that she's fighting on for this one. I did not do my research there. That's on me. But I want to say it's at flyweight. And, Jessica Andrade is the favorite to win this fight. And I'm going to say that's the facts. That's the facts. Jessica Andrade will win this fight by, I'm going to say a close decision, though. I think this is going to be a pretty close one.
I think Andre is gonna knock her lights out. Honestly,
knock the lights out, bro. Really?
Because she is a very, very, very scary woman.
Yeah, extremely scary woman. But so.
But it's probably gonna make it to round 2 at least. It's not gonna be first round.
Yes. But it's gonna be a good fight. I'm looking forward to it. I think this one's good, but this is still the early prelims, guys. Make sure you note that. This starts at 6 p.m. on the East Coast, and you don't want to miss these fights. These fights are good. Just those 3 alone that I just said are pretty worth watching. And now our next one, it just does not stop there, We go right into our featured early prelim, which is Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano. And this is a pretty good fight between two notable lightweights. We got Jalen Turner, who's coming off of that knockout of Bobby Green, and a fight of the year contender against Dan Hooker, which he did come up short in, but don't matter. You lost to Dan Hooker. That's okay. But Renato Moicano, he's also coming off of a win. But actually, Moicano has been struggling a little bit lately. I think he's coming off of a. I'm not sure if it's a loss or a win. Fuck! I think my notes might be wrong.
Notes. Oh no.
Hold on. It's not in the notes. Alert, emergency. I'm on the ESPN app right now, guys. I promise. I will get the facts right now. I'm getting these facts right now. Right the fuck now. Holy shit. Although I will say, though, Renato Moicano is a pretty entertaining guy. I mean, dude speaks in some broken English, Dude speaks in some broken English, but dude's got the mic skills. He's got the charisma to back it. Dude, now he's coming off a 2-fight winning streak. Fuck was I thinking he was losing? Of course he isn't losing.
How dare you question your notes?
How dare I question my notes? And then he's been surging lately. That's what I wrote there. You see, I misread my own fucking handwriting. That's how quickly that I had to draft up these fucking notes.
See, Steven, we need the Steven from 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
He's on point.
He is on point. But the dude's got the mic skills. The dude always delivers. His past 2 post-fight interviews after he won have been nothing less of entertaining. I was present for one of them with UFC 281. That was the first one where he said Moicano wants money. And, we love money Moicano here at the Front Row Access podcast. But, Turner's long. Turner's long and lanky. Pretty good striker. He's got good kicks. Very good kicks. But Moicano's got some elite level BJJ. And he always finds a way to get to somebody's legs. So, give me Renato Moicano by a submission. And I'm going to say pretty early. I'm going to say round one, if not early round two.
I don't think he's got this, honestly. And that's only because of how much I like that knockout that he put on Bobby Green.
Oh, yeah, that fucking
That was
beatdown. That was amazing. It was amazing.
Like while we were watching it live, I said to him, I think the ref let it go on because this guy was too cocky.
Yeah.
And I just like seeing a beatdown sometimes, you know?
I mean, that's why we got into this sport to begin with, right?
Yep.
So, you're taking Jalen Turner for this one?
Yeah, Turner for this.
How?
Knockout.
Knockout.
Second round.
Second round. Alrighty. Alright, so now we go into our first prelim, guys, at 8 p.m. Eastern. Is when these are starting, 8 p.m. We got Sadiq Yusuf versus Diego Lopez. Or Diego Lopes. I think that actually might be pronounced Lopes. So, Diego Lopes here and Sadiq Yusuf are both young, they're hungry, and they're new contenders at featherweight, right? See, Diego is a BJJ fighter, and Yusuf is a striker. And they both have a shit ton of potential. And I think it's still early in their careers whether or not I could tell you if they're going to make it to like top 5 or top 10. But as of right now, they look very promising, both of them. Young contenders in the featherweight division. Plus, there's a lot of movement going on there right now. Obviously, the long reigning champ got knocked down and knocked out. So now we have a new champion that everybody can chase after. So we're going to see how that plays out, you know. But Sadiq is coming off of a loss to Edson Barbosa. But then again, you lost to Edson Barbosa. You're okay. I wouldn't be able to win against Edson Barbosa. I'd probably be dead. And Diego Lopes, he's actually on a 2-fight winning streak right now, and he is coming off of the Dana White Contender Series. So obviously, they're giving him a lot of promotion. They're giving him a lot of flowers because Dana White really likes his Dana White Contender series. I fucking wonder why.
I mean, it's only named after him.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see a battle between two young guys, two young contenders. They're both not even 30 yet, and I'm excited to see it. But honestly, man, Diego's been looking real good lately. So give me Diego Lopes. Don't know how, but give me Diego Lopes.
I'm going to go with Sadiq instead.
Mm-hmm.
If only because, in my eyes, every fighter in the MMA knows how to take a punch.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them know how to yell submissions.
That's facts. And so here we go. That's what those are the predictions right there. I got Diego, you got Sadiq for this one, and now our next one, another intriguing women's matchup here between Holly Holm, former bantamweight champion, and a debuting Kayla Harrison. Guys, the UFC did it. We got Kayla Harrison. Fucking awesome. This girl is crazy, right? Gold medalist in judo in the Olympics. She's basically tore through the PFL. She holds a record of 16-1, and the only one that she lost to was in a championship fight. So she made it to the pinnacle, just couldn't quite beat her opponent. And if you look at her opponent, man, that's a scary woman. That's the woman that that's the woman that the hoodlums are scared of. Okay, I can understand why Kayla Harrison lost to this woman, and I can forgive that. And that was also back in November of 2022, so it was a decent amount of time ago. And she's only been upgrading ever since, and I'm excited to see how we got another judo practitioner in the UFC now. Our first one obviously was Ronda Rousey. Now we got another one coming in, and she's also an absolute killer. So, and she's also young. I think she's 33. So she's still got a lot of kick left in her. But here we go, guys. I know I'm hyping up Kayla Harrison a lot here, and because I'm excited about her debut. But Holly Holm, man, she's been here, bro. She's been here for a while, and she's been delivering. I mean, accolades speak for itself. She's the first girl to beat Ronda Rousey. And y'all remember how much of a hot commodity Ronda Rousey was at like 2013, 2015, that range of time. Yeah, she was the absolute fucking shit, So she's a former champion. She's been around forever. She delivers in every single one of her fights. She's very technical kickboxer, very good in clinch work, very good at range. But guys, I don't think Holly Holmes got this. I'm gonna say Kayla Harrison wins her debut, probably off of control time, if not a submission. So either a decision or a late submission for Kayla Harrison.
Honestly, this is where we kind of get into the gray area for me, at least. Because the thing is, Holly Holmes has been there and done that. But the thing is, Holly Holmes has been there for a while. So
She's 41.
if you're making your debut, you have all those matches to go through to plan against. So I think if Kayla can fend off Holmes for a bit, then she'll be all right and she'll win. But I can definitely see Holmes overwhelming her. But I'll say, because I want to be decisive here, I'm with you. Holly Holmes. Holly Holmes is not going to be able to take her down fast enough.
So yeah, we both got Kayla Harrison. I can understand the gray area though. This definitely is a coin flip, more of a coin flip than the odds makers are making it seem. They have Holly Holm as a pretty sizable underdog. I think she's a minus 230. No, plus 230 underdog. And but I think this is closer than most people are making it out to be. And it's definitely going to be a good fight for sure. But I ultimately think Kayla Harrison's gonna ride it out and get the win here. Plus, it's your UFC debut. You don't want to fuck it up, you know. So that is that. Now our next matchup on the prelim card, guys. The fucking prelims we're on right now. Any of these fights, just like the fucking last card, could main event a fight night pretty easily. They just haven't because they wanted to stack this card to the fucking brim, and I love it for it, and I love them for it. Now this next one here, I'm actually pretty excited for this one. We got Calvin Cater versus a debuting Aljamain Sterling featherweight debut. Obviously, I know Aljamain Sterling's been around for a while. Dude's a champion, second best champion. Is tied with Dominic Cruz for most title defenses. So on paper, he's the second best bantamweight. And Aljamain does back it up though. I mean, obviously the way he won his belt was a little bit questionable. Dude kind of acted his way to victory, but dude delivered ever since. He showed that he actually is a good fighter and he can hang with some of the best of the best. And even though I clown on Aljo like all the fucking time, I gotta give respect. Excuse me, the respect is due. And this dude's good. He's really good. This is Aljo's featherweight debut, like I said, but he's a former bantamweight champion, second best bantamweight champion. He only lost to Sugar Sean O'Malley. And mind you guys, Aljamain Sterling definitely won round one against Sean O'Malley in that fight. I would know. I was present for it. And you know, he's I think he's a better fit for this weight class because he was already a pretty big bantamweight to begin with. I mean, looking at the guy, the dude looks like dude is fucking shredded, and dude is built. So you know, when when you see that, the dude cut a lot of weight to get down to 135, and I think he'd probably fit better at 145. Plus, with once like I said with Sadiq and Diego, this division's moving, and there's a lot of potential to be had here. And I don't think Aljamain Sterling could be making his debut at a better time than right now in the featherweight division, seeming as Volk's probably going to be out for a bit after that loss. But and we got our new champion in there now, and Max Holloway's occupied. He's also on this card, so we'll get into him later. And
that's over on the main card.
Mhm.
Where it was so big.
We're still in the prelims. We're in like the third prelim right now. So yeah, on the prelim card, not just the not just the early prelims. The early prelims were already got through. But Aljamain Sterling, he's the ultimate human backpack, guys. The dude knows how to take you down, get to that back, threaten some submissions while also pounding your face in the process. So I mean, dude's nasty with it. Dude's a good fighter. But he's also a fucking clown, and I hate him. But it's okay because I do genuinely, I guess, enjoy watching Aljamain Sterling fight because it's always interesting to see the way he's able to manipulate himself around the body and just hold people down that you wouldn't think would be able to get held down as much as they do. So, I mean, dude took down a gold medalist in Henry Cejudo. So, I mean, the dude is a good fighter, and I can admit that. But here's Calvin Cater, guys. He's Little Boston boy here. Come on, bro. We in that area of the United States. We're in the Northeast. That's where we're based. And Calvin Cater's our little Boston boy, and he's got tremendous boxing. He's a tall guy. He's a long guy. And let's not forget to mention Calvin Cater's best punch is a jab, and jabs are very well known for keeping distance. And also, he's got good elbows as well. So if you get close to him, he'll just wham you with an elbow. He's got good knees up the middle, good front kicks. Overall, the dude is a very good striker, and he's long and he knows how to use that length to his advantage. And yeah, he's got high volume. I mean, dude is a good fighter. I mean, granted, he got dog walked by Max Holloway, but he got dog walked by Max Holloway. That's okay. You know, so I guess it really will come. This is going to be Cater's first fight in a couple of years now. In like a year and a half. This is Calvin Cater's first fight in like a year and a half. We last saw Calvin Cater in October of 2022 when he was facing Brendan Allen. No, Arnold Allen, not Brendan Allen. And he's facing Arnold Allen, and he tore his ACL very early on in the fight, and he could not continue. Obviously, lost by doctor's stoppage, and he's been on the recovery ever since. And I guess it was a really bad knee injury, on top of it, maybe an ACL tear, as well as a couple of other things that happened in the knee. The knee is a terrible area to get injured, but he's hasn't been back since October of 2022. But then again, we haven't seen Aljamain since he lost to Sean O'Malley in August of 2023. So I think what it's really going to come down to is making sure Calvin Kattar doesn't have any ring rust, which I don't think he will. And if Calvin Kattar can keep that distance. If he can, y'all might see a pretty big upset here with Calvin Kattar beating Aljamain Sterling. But like I said before, Aljamain Sterling has a way of getting to people's legs. He has a way of holding people down that wouldn't normally get held down. He's got a way of taking down long and lanky strikers. Ask Corey Sandhagen. He took him down, submitted him with ease. And that's kind of the fight that I'm looking at from Aljo's. That's how I think this one's going to go. I mean, Calvin Kattar's got a little bit more power than Sandhagen, I would say. And maybe a little bit more accuracy. But give me Aljamain Sterling. Probably by a decision.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Sterling's got this.
Yeah, I think Aljamain Sterling is going to get this one. I mean, I love Calvin Kattar to death. I will be rooting for Calvin Kattar. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's coming up on top here.
For me, it boils and it comes down more to the fact that Sterling is fresher in the ring. Obviously, we know that. Kattar was out on injury, which is awful. But the fact that you got a champion who has been fighting a hell of a lot more recently, I think will make all the difference in the world in a fight like this. And you can't, you can dog him all you want, but he was champion.
And a good one.
Yeah, he was a defending champion. He been there, done that, fought the fights, So I've got him for this.
Yep. So give me Aljamain Sterling for that one. Now moving on. Our featured prelim of the night, Mr. Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic. This fight's going to be crazy, y'all. It's going to be absolutely nuts. We got two light heavyweights that have been in top contention. Obviously, Yuri Prohaska was the former champion. Unfortunately, had to vacate that title due to a shoulder injury. And Alexander Rakic has been, oh, shit. Should probably get a charger.
Yeah, your battery's like, yo, we ain't about that life.
All right.
I want to hurry.
All right, so talk up Yuri Prohaska while I grab my charger.
Where is your charger? Over there. No,
we're still rolling.
Yeah, it's still recording. Live studio audience is here. If you guys are wondering, we are getting a charger now. Hopefully, yes, because you guys are about to die. Did you confuse the chargers?
I did.
Oh no. Oh no.
I might have just cost our studio audience.
That's fine. That's fine. You do that every day. We do this once a week. Come on, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Make it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I thought that. Oh
Sorry, we had a
man.
bit of interference due to our studio audience.
All right, we're back
Oh,
at
we
it.
interfered with the studio audience, but potato
I did
potato.
not prepare for this. I didn't know my laptop was that low. Uh, but shit, Yuri Prohaska's back, so that's cool. Obviously, last time we saw him was against Alex Pereira in their light heavyweight title fight back in November of 2023. That's it. I'm just drawing a blank there.
I was about to say October, so good on you.
Alrighty, so Yuri Prohaska is coming off of a loss to our current champion of Alex Pereira, and
Who will be on that scariest motherfucker list?
who will be on the scariest motherfucker list to every scariest motherfucker. He was TKO'd in the second, and it was a controversial stop. It looked a little bit early, but Yuri Prohaska admitted in an interview that he was out and just kind of kept going, but he got up pretty quick for being out. So I mean, I don't know.
Well, I heard what you said about yeah, what's the guy we were just talking about? Bobby Green.
Yeah,
Yeah, they heard what you were talking about. They're like, oh, okay.
yeah. So unfortunately, so Yuri Prohaska is a former champ. He beat Glover Teixeira for the vacant title. Actually, no, it wasn't a vacant title.
Vacant.
It wasn't vacant. Teixeira was the defending. So Teixeira, he beat Teixeira in fifth round, Hail Mary submission when Glover Teixeira was actually like this close to beating him. But the submission got in and he had 30 seconds left in the fight and he tapped out. I'm like, damn,
Right.
that's rough. But I wanted Yuri to win that fight, so I was happy. But at the same time, you got to feel for Glover there. But Yuri Prohaska, man, he's a former champ, and but unfortunately he got injured and had to relinquish his title right before he was supposed to fight Glover Teixeira for a second time, just because of how close that fight was. And that's just how it was going to be. And so he vacated that title, and then it caused a gigantic mess after Yuri Prohaska won that belt, and then vacated it. Then they had to do, instead of for the December pay per view of making it Prohaska versus Teixeira, they had to make it Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev for the vacant light heavyweight title now, and then they would fight to a draw. And then the next pay per view, it was Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira for the light heavyweight title, where Jamal Hill would put a beating on Glover Teixeira and win the belt. And then a month later, he would tear his Achilles, and then he would vacate the title again. And that's what made way for Yuri Prohaska versus Alex Pereira, but the former king of the division against the guy that just beat Jan Blachowicz controversially, I will say. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, you could have scored it either way for either Jan Blachowicz or Glover, not Glover, Alex Pereira. I mean, Alex Pereira gets trained by Glover Teixeira, so a little,
They're not one and
you
the
know,
same.
but they're not one and the same fighter, but they train together, that's for sure. And so that's what gave way to that title fight. And after Alex Pereira beat Jan Blachowicz, former champion of that division as well, and then he would win the belt that way. And now this is Alexander Rakic's first fight since May of 2022. Dude has been injured. He got a very bad knee injury. I don't know what's up with these fighters getting knee injuries in the middle of their fights, but his knee injury happened early in the first round in his fight against Jan Blachowicz, and it was unfortunate because that actually was a really good fight on paper, and it started off really good between Rakic and Blachowicz, but then unfortunately life had other plans, and Rakic got hurt, and we have not seen him since. But now he's back, and I will tell you that both Yuri Prohaska and Alexander Rakic are one and the same. They're cut from the same cloth. They're about the same kind of fighter. Very wild strikers that don't like to keep their hands up that well, and will fight to the fucking death. So, looking at this fight, I think it could be a number one contendership fight, seeming as the light heavyweight belt is on the line in the main event. Spoiler. But I think whoever wins this fight, will get a title fight next, seeming as Rakic, I believe, is number 4, and Prohaska is number 1 or 2. I think he's number 2. And so it's gonna be a crazy and it's gonna be a wild fight. It's gonna be a train wreck, my humble opinion. But give me Yuri Prohaska. I think Yuri Prohaska's gonna do it by either late knockout or decision, but I'm gonna say late knockout for finality.
I'm also going to go with you there.
Mm.
I don't think it's going to be a knockout. I think it's going to go to decision, but that he'll have it in the bag.
Mm.
It's not. It's probably going to be unanimous decision in my opinion.
Like a 29-28 type deal. He might
Yeah.
lose a round,
Yeah.
or 30-27. He might win every round.
Nah, because these guys, they're both like warriors that are gonna get in each other's face and beat the shit out of each other.
Until one goes down to death, brother.
And then
So
Sean Strickland's gonna come out to revive him. So
obviously, if somebody dies, Sean Strickland's gonna come running down trying to revive the shit out of them.
I got the best life insurance policy ever. As long as you're not in a match with him, he will revive you. He will resuscitate you.
Sean Strickland, man, what a guy. Now, that was the prelims, guys. All that was for free.
That's why we made it to the main card.
Yep, we got it all. All those prelims that we just mentioned there, those last fights up to this point, you get for free on ESPN Plus. So go and watch those things. Starts at 6 p.m. Don't miss it. This is a crazy card, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Now we're into the main card. This one you do gotta pay for, but if you order it right now, I think you can get $10 off. But
I'll be honest, I don't think that's true. I think that ran out last Saturday, but
fuck. Yeah, you're right though. Shit. Disregard everything I just said there. But don't disregard the fact that you gotta pay for this card. These next fights you gotta pay for. This starts at 10 p.m. or later, depending on how all the other fights play out. But and we start this shit off with Mr. Bo Nickel, or as I call him, No Bickle, and he's facing Cody Brundage. And get ready for this, guys. Y'all know Bo Nickel. NCAA wrestling champion, absolutely tremendous wrestler, good striking on top of it, trains at American Top Team, and, he's on a 2-fight win streak since debuting in the UFC after a 2-fight win streak as a UFC contract fighter, but he's also 5-0, so he has not lost a fight at all, and 4 of those fights have been within the confines of UFC. He had 2 wins on the Contender Series, and he's had 2 wins on the main roster ever since. So this dude is definitely looking to be pretty good, and he has a lot of potential. He's young. I think he's only 27 or 28 years old. So he's definitely getting to that peak athleticism age.
Dude's probably gonna cost me $50, honestly.
And let me tell you something, guys. Bo Nickel's a good fighter, but tell me if you guys think this is ridiculous or not. He is a minus 2,500 favorite on this fucking card. That is the highest that I have ever seen anybody be favored. Ever in my time watching UFC. If there's been something different, please tell me otherwise. I know TJ Dillashaw really knocked off Cody Garbrandt or some other guy, but I don't know. I saw Juliana Pena plus 800 underdog beat a minus 1,000 favorite in Amanda Nunes. I've seen that, but I've never seen somebody open and close as a negative 2,500 fucking favorite. Like, this dude is... they're basically saying this dude's gonna run through Cody Brundage. And I'm like, what the fuck? I like Cody Brundage! But he's a plus 1,000 underdog. I'm like, Jesus Christ on a motorbike. What in the fuck are these guys thinking making these odds? But shit, man. Those are all revolved around the people that are betting. And everybody's betting on Bo Nickel to win this fight. And I mean, I can understand why. But here's the thing. I don't think he's at the level that he can be a minus 2,500 favorite. He is not. He's 5-0. Dude has had 5 MMA fights, and he's a negative 2,500 favorite. Most champions don't have that kind of favoritism. Not even John Jones has been favored that much. Not even Khabib Nurmagomedov has been favored that much. And I just name dropped a couple of crazy people there. But holy shit. I get hype trains, but goddamn, like, I like Mr. No Bickle. Don't get me wrong, but like shit, I don't think he's that heavy of a favorite. And what the fuck? And Cody Brundage is on a 2-fight winning streak as well, and he's 10-5. He's 4-4 in the UFC, so I mean he's pretty even when it comes to the UFC wins. But it's on a 2-fight winning streak. He's a good fighter. You got to keep in mind this dude's a wrestler too. He's an All-American, I'm pretty sure. So I mean, both are young, very early in the careers, but like holy shit, I can't believe the odds difference between the two of these guys. But shit, man, I was predicting Bo Nickel to win this fight, which I'm going to tell you right now. I think Bo Nickel's going to win by a submission. I don't know when, but he's going to submit this dude. And but damn, that's quite the fucking odds. That shocked me when I saw that shit. Anyway, Anthony, your thoughts?
Yeah, Bo's definitely got this.
Bo Nickel's got this, but I don't.
Case.
You just bet $50 on Brundage real quick, because if Brundage ends up upsetting Bo Nickel, bro, somebody's gonna make some fucking bank. All right. But I mean, I got Bo Nickel winning this fight, man. But I don't think he's a negative 2,500 favorite. I think he's the favorite, but not that much. Nah, that shit's crazy. The fuck kind of crack are you smoking, DraftKings?
The best kind of crack is what they're on right there.
But oh my goodness gracious me. But we both got Bo Nickel.
Yeah.
What do you got him by? I got him with submission.
It's 3 rounds.
3-round, yeah.
I think I'll go the distance.
Distance.
Decision.
Decision for Bo Nickel. I'm
Yeah.
saying submission for Bo Nickel. Anyway, now it's time to get to the meat and potatoes of this card. The reason why we're all watching this shit. Mr. Charles Dubronx Oliveira versus Armin Sarukian. Alrighty. This shit is gonna be a banger. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. This is a tremendous fight and definitely belongs on this card. I'm so happy Charles Oliveira is back, and I'm happy to see Armin Sarukian fight. I always am. Both of these guys are tremendous. They're very entertaining fighters to watch. I love them both, and they're both very similar in styles. And, you know.
Didn't you say you... No, maybe it was Mike. He said he hated Oliveira when I first got into this. Like, why do you guys hate him?
Nah, I mean, I never hated the guy. I just hated the fact that he beat all my favorite fighters. But I like Charles Oliveira, you know? And I also like Armin Sarukian. So this is going to be a crazy fight for me. I know there's a lot of Charles Oliveira fans, you know, and rightfully so. You guys should be fans of his. He's a very, very good fighter. Charles Oliveira is the plus 180 underdog going into this, which kind of shocked me. I can't lie. You put a former champion as the underdog. But, you know.
He's coming off injury. It's probably because he's coming off injury.
Yeah, and it's not even an injury. Just, well, yeah, it was an injury.
He couldn't do the fight due to injury.
But, like, it was a cut. It wasn't like a
broken
bone or something.
Doesn't matter.
True, he's coming off an injury.
That's the only way I see him as an underdog.
But he's also coming off of a win, though. Against the same dude. Anyway, Charles Oliveira, former champ, is coming off a win. He did that in June of 2023. We haven't seen him since. Obviously, he was supposed to fight. He beat what's his face? Beneil Dariush by a head kick at the end of round 1, and that's how he won the fight. And he was supposed to fight the current champion Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title, but unfortunately, like we said, his last day of sparring, he got cut over the eyebrow, he got stitched up, couldn't fight, therefore reverberating the entirety of the lightweight division and basically uproaring it and uprooting it at the biggest level. And, unfortunately, we missed that opportunity of Charles Oliveira at his shot at redemption in Abu Dhabi against Islam Makhachev. But, but he's beaten high-level guys. Like I said, he's a former champ. He's beaten Mike Chandler. He beat Mike Chandler for the belt. He beats Dustin Poirier in his first title defense, and he beats Justin Gaethje, only losing to Islam Makhachev, but then coming right back and beating the tar out of Beneil Dariush. And so this dude is beating the who's who of the lightweight division at this current moment.
Yeah, as we all know, every single one of the names you just said are scary motherfuckers.
All of them are scary motherfuckers. Some high-level guys right there. Very, very good fighters that aren't easily put away, but he put them away. And, he's got the most finishes in the history of the UFC with 20. Isn't that insane? And then I think most fight of the night bonuses with 19. He's spectacular BJJ. And he's got very technical Muay Thai as well. He's very good with clinches. He's good with his elbows, his knees. He's good with the hands. He's good at, but I'd say his clinch striking is probably his best attribute when it comes to the on the feet shit. But obviously, where this man shines is on the ground with his jiu-jitsu. This dude, it doesn't matter what you do, how good you are defensively, he's going to find a way to pry your arm apart. He's going to find a way to get to your leg. He's going to find a way to get to your back. He's going to find your neck. He's going to do whatever the fuck he wants with you when you're on the ground. Right? This dude is an absolute grappling wizard and knows how to find submissions. And he's also got some fucking power. Did you see the way he knocked down Justin Gaethje in their fight? That straight right hand sent Gaethje to the next fucking dimension. And then before Gaethje could even recover from the gigantic right hand, he was getting choked out. So, I mean, that just goes to show how good Charles Oliveira is. Dude has an absolute chip on his shoulder, obviously. He wants his belt back, and he wants it back bad. So this guy, he's hungry, and he wants it. But so is Arman Sarukian. These guys are both hungry lions. They either want to get their title or get their title back. They both have a what?
I just saw something that would be really upsetting.
What?
What if Oliveira misses weight by half a pound?
That would suck. Well, at least there's no title on the line, so he won't get screwed out of it. But if he does, I think they'll still continue with the fight. Half a pound, bro. Half a pound, and he gets the fucking title stripped off of him. How unfortunate. But anyway, Arman Sarukian, also another young and hungry contender. Now, Charles Oliveira, he isn't old, but he ain't young. He's 34, guys. He's been
there a while.
He's been here a while, and he had a pretty rough first half of his career when he was at featherweight. Being seen as a journeyman of the featherweight division, you know? Finally found himself. He adapted to lightweight. The birth of his daughter really helped him upgrade to the next level of fighter that he is now. But Arman Sarukian, he's young. He's 28. And this dude has looked tremendous in all of his fights. He's beaten names like Toots Gamrot. He just knocked out Beneil Dariush faster than Charles Oliveira knocked out Beneil Dariush. He knocked Beneil out in a minute. It took Charles Oliveira 4. And it was a clean knockout. It wasn't no TKO. It was clean. Benny was out, bro. He was gone. The dude was schlepped. And Arman, he's definitely wants to get into that title picture. Breaking into the top 5 only made him more hungry. And let's not forget to mention, he's also faced Islam Makhachev before. And it was a close fight. He gave a close fight to Arman Sarukian in his fucking debut, basically, or very early on in his career. Very early, he faces Islam Makhachev and takes him to the limit. So this Arman's like, oh, I'm better now. I could definitely get to you. I think I could beat you this time. But then Islam's like, yeah, right, buddy. I'll get you whenever you fight, obviously. But he's scary and he's good all around, just like Charles Oliveira, but I think he possesses a little bit more power than Charles Oliveira does. I mean, Oliveira's very technical and he knows how to find the shot. It just doesn't always put you out. I mean, yeah, he grilled Gaethje, but that was a clean setup, and Gaethje just was not defensively sound with that punch. And but Arman Sarukian's good all around. The dude's got smoke in his fucking hands. The dude's got 2 fucking cinder blocks there. And he's also got good wrestling and grappling. So doesn't Charles Oliveira. This fight is going to be absolutely astonishing. But man, I can't count out my boy Charles. So please, bro, give me Charles Oliveira by a first round knockout. Yes, I'm saying it.
I'm going to go with Charles in a second round submission.
Second round submission, but we both taking Charles, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say it, man. Fucking round 1 knockout for Charles Oliveira.
The thing is with Arman is he is a problem, and he knows what he's doing. So I think that they're both going to come in really, really strong. I think Oliveira is definitely going to weather the storm, though, and put him away round 2 with a submission.
Mm-hmm. Where's my belt? Charles the Bronx. Anyway, this next one. I'm so excited for this fight. You guys see the smile on my face. I'm bouncing around.
Yeah, we told you Dana cooked.
Dana cooked the fuck out of this shit. Now we're going into one of the 3 title fights on this card. Yes, I'm counting this one as a title fight because it is one. We have Justin the Highlight Gaethje, our defending BMF champion, versus Max Blessed Holloway. Guys, this is a banger. This is a fucking banger. And it's between 2 fan favorites that everybody fucking loves. Both of these guys fucking deliver every single time, and I couldn't think of 2 better contenders to face off for the BMF title. Now, I don't need to tell y'all the lineage of the BMF title. I'm pretty sure you guys know it by now, but just in case you don't, I'm going to do it again. So our story will stem back to 2019. Jorge Masvidal just had a fucking resurgence of his career and had the best year of his entire career, 2019, and it ends in a BMF title fight between Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. Now, the reason why this came to be is Nate Diaz came off of a win, and they were asking him if he was gonna fight for a belt anytime soon. He goes, "I don't need to fight for a belt, man." He goes, "I don't need to fight for a belt. I'm the baddest motherfucker. I'm bad. I got the baddest motherfucker belt." All right, said it just like that. And then Jorge Masvidal said, "Nuh-uh, nuh-uh, nuh-uh," and then he's like, I'm the baddest motherfucker." And I'm the one I'm the one that flatlined Darren Till. I'm the one that need Ben Askren in the face. You ain't shit.
No, here's the highlight.
In case you didn't know, here's the highlight. And we can't get a fucking enough of.
Play it again.
And then, anyway, so therefore, because there was this banner about who's the baddest motherfucker in the UFC, Dana White says, "Fuck it, I got money. Let me throw it into something new for this promotion so I can make this fight between Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal, two older guys to this point, even more exciting. Let me make a new fucking belt." And he makes a new fucking belt out of black diamonds and leather and steel plates and with some black diamonds in them. And he he shows everybody this is the BMF title. This is the bad motherfucker belt. And then he called up The Rock. He went, "Hey, yo, Rock, I'm going to need you to put this belt over the winner of this fight, okay?"
Did the final boss agree?
The final boss agreed. And then because, let's be honest, fucking Rock's a bad motherfucker, too. So only right that he's the one that presents the bad motherfucker belt. And so, anyway, fight happens. Jorge Masvidal wins. And then he gets the BMF title. Then we wouldn't see the BMF title again. We wouldn't.
Retiring,
And, from 2019 to 2023, we would not see the BMF title again. And then Jorge Masvidal retires after losing to Gilbert Burns in April of 2023.
Gilbert Burns was there?
Gilbert Burns was there.
Yes.
So, Gilbert Burns beats Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal hangs it up, says he's done. This leaves the BMF title vacant. And guess which two fighters are available? Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. "Okay, how can I make this fucking rematch even better?" said Dana. "I could put a belt on the line and call it a title fight. Money!" And then, obviously, Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje would go down UFC 291 for the vacant BMF title. And to which Justin Gaethje head kicks Dustin Poirier into the stratosphere and becomes the baddest motherfucker in the UFC. And now he's defending it. It's the first time somebody's actually defended the BMF title.
Yeah, I was gonna say this seems like a pretty quick turnaround. It's only nine more pay-per-views in between. From when it was originally established.
Well, yeah. And then, so, you got to think about it. Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier was in July. And now they're fighting now, in April. So,
like from Gaethje getting it from Masvidal, that's quite a sizable gap.
Oh, yeah. That was because Masvidal didn't put it on the line. He just
not.
got the BMF belt and just kept it. He didn't defend it, but Justin Gaethje did. He said, "Yeah, let's put the BMF on the line. Max Holloway is kind of out in limbo. He's beaten every featherweight except for Alexander Volkanovski, and he's definitely not getting another shot at that title soon." And then, obviously, in hindsight now, we can, with Alexander Volkanovski losing that featherweight belt.
But Marino Figueroa had 4.
Anyway, but now with Volk losing that one, and Ilia Topuria being your new featherweight champion, that kind of opens the door for Max Holloway. But Max Holloway has said that he's like, "I know," he goes, "I could have taken a title fight. I could have waited to see how that fight played out, and I could have just challenged the winner again." He goes, "But I knew that even if Ilia beats him, Volk should get an immediate rematch. So why not? Why shouldn't I take a shot at lightweight? Why shouldn't I fight Justin Gaethje? Like, that's a big fight. That's a money fight for both of them." And he goes, "Why not try to go for the BMF title? It's just another accolade, right?" He goes, "Because I'm going to still be waiting no matter what, so of course I'm going to take this fight." right? And then with Justin Gaethje kind of hanging out in limbo as well. And I mean, knocking out Dustin Poirier is no easy feat, but he kind of stuck too because then you have Charles Oliveira who's still kind of waiting, but then Charles Oliveira gets booked for a fight against Arman Sarukian, this other dude that just surged in. So Gaethje's kind of on ice, so isn't, but and then somehow, some way, the door is opened up for now a potential match between Dustin Poirier and Islam Makhachev, which I am not looking forward to. But fuck it. This isn't about Dustin right now though. Go and watch our fighter special on Dustin Poirier if you haven't already. And so Justin Gaethje's like, yeah, sure, I'll fight Max. I'll put the BMF on the line and we'll see what happens. I think as far as victories are concerned, Max Holloway has more to gain from this. Because Max Holloway is former champ, featherweight champ. He's riding a 2-fight winning streak right now. And at the time that fight was confirmed, nobody knew how Volk and Topuria was going to go. And so Max took the fight and being off that 2-fight winning streak because he's beaten Arnold Allen and he's beaten Korean Zombie. Both very good guys. He totally ended a 9-fight winning streak of Arnold Allen. But and then of course he retired to Korean Zombie, so he's kind of just doing fights for the sake of doing fights that he never did before. And like I said, he's beaten every featherweight that's not named Alexander Volkanovski. Or Ilya Topuria, for that matter, because he just hasn't faced Ilya yet. Ilya was
It
one.
went around the wall.
Ilya found a way around the wall and got to Volk before he had to go through Holloway. So at some point, Max Holloway and Ilya are probably gonna fight. I don't know when or if that'll happen. But we all know Max Holloway, guys. We made a fighter special on him that'll be uploaded soon. It's made. It's in the queue. We're gonna probably upload it next week, more than likely. And then so he's a very high volume, fast paced, pressure fighter. And he did bulk up quite a bit for this lightweight fight. If you look at the pictures of Max Holloway now, the dude's looking pretty big. Dude's put on some size. He's getting ready. And I hope that speed transfers over with this more muscle. But we'll
It
see.
reminds me of old Randy Orton to new Randy Orton.
Yeah, dude, Randy Orton big as fuck these days, bro. Have you seen that man? He's bigger than he ever was when he was like fucking 30. Like,
Yeah.
he's bigger now and more built like a refrigerator now than he ever has been in his entire WWE career.
He's bigger now more than ever.
But anyway, of course, Max Holloway has a lot to gain from this fight. If he beats Justin Gaethje, that's a notable guy that he's going to beat. And it's a big, high-profile name that he's just going to add to his fucking record of already high-profile guys that he's beaten. Or faced up against, for that matter.
It's just people not named Alexander Volk.
Yeah. He's just gonna add it to the list of people that he's fought because I mean Max Holloway has pretty much fought the who's who of 145 and 55. To be honest, because a lot of the 155ers now starting in 145. That's Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor.
I saw Max Holloway like up there looks better for me.
Yep. So Max Holloway was like, I'm obviously not gonna be moving very much in this division, even if Volkanovski loses. I think he gets an immediate rematch, so I'm still gonna be waiting. So he takes the fight against Justin Gaethje. Now, if he beats Justin Gaethje, now he's in contention in 2 divisions for championship. So he can go for either one. He can go against Islam, try to get the lightweight belt, or he can go against Ilya, try to get the featherweight belt back. So if he beats Justin Gaethje here, he's instantly catapulted to number 3. He breaks into the top 5 with one fight. And he could very much be next in line for a championship if he beats Justin Gaethje here. And then on top of that, he'd also win the BMF belt, which is kind of fucking cool. And I think Max Holloway would deserve it if he got it, because he is a bad motherfucker. So but guys, I know I've been saying a lot for Max Holloway, but it's because I never ever count Max Holloway out. And you're gonna hear me say that a lot in our fighter special on that we're gonna be releasing soon. I never ever count Max Holloway out, but and also will never ever doubt him going into any fight. But Justin Gaethje, man, he hasn't fought someone like him before. Justin Gaethje is this fucking anomaly of just raw American steel. Like, he is just pure American steel, has cinder blocks for hands, and he don't even look like he has cinder blocks for hands, but yeah, he does. Justin Gaethje, man, he is the favorite in this fight. He's a minus 160 favorite to Max Holloway's plus 135 underdog status, right? So it's still rather close on paper, though. the odds at least. Now, Justin Gaethje's also on a 2-fight winning streak. He has beaten Rafael Fiziev and Dustin Poirier to get to this point, right? So he KO'd Dustin Poirier for the BMF belt, as I mentioned, and he's been on some next level shit lately. I don't know what it is. Gaethje used to just be known as this wild guy that would go in there, try to kick your legs out, and then just land one power punch and win the fight, right? That's how he was before, but that's also how he lost. He lost to Dustin Poirier because he tried to do that way back when. So that caused him to go back to the drawing board a little bit and get a little bit more technical. Justin Gaethje is a completely upgraded fighter now than he ever was. I think he's the best version of Justin Gaethje that we're ever going to see is right now. I can say that with confidence because Justin Gaethje has found out how to keep distance with the jab. You saw that in the Rafael Fiziev fight when he kept him at bay with the jab and just 1-2 combo. Very crispy boxing. He's not just looking for that big power punch like he was before, leaving himself all sorts of wide open to get caught. Nah, he's a little bit more tight. He's a little bit more together. He knows, like, he's got more discipline with his hands while still possessing a shit ton of fucking power. And then also his calf kicks are debilitating. Ask Khabib how that felt. Ask Dustin Poirier how that felt. Ask anybody that's ever faced Justin Gaethje how his calf kick feels. It sucks. Also, Gaethje's an All-American. This dude is an NCAA wrestling champion. You know, he's got takedowns that he can do now. He got one against Fiziev, who is widely regarded to be a better grappler than Justin Gaethje, but Justin Gaethje took him down in that fight too. So, I mean, Gaethje, and now he learned how to fucking kick people in the face as well. Nobody was expecting a fucking head kick out of Justin Gaethje, but shit, he fucking did it.
I'm always expecting a Salt Lake City head kick.
Yeah, but from Justin Gaethje?
I'm always expecting one.
Well, now you are, because it's been a trend for the past 2 years. But Justin Gaethje now throwing head kicks. Like, dude's throwing head kicks. Dude is using his jab, and he's also still got that calf kick, and he's got that good wrestling. He's got good counter wrestling as well. So, I mean, the version of Justin Gaethje that we're seeing right now is probably the best that we've ever seen. And, you know, it's going to be a crazy fight here, man. I mean, Max Holloway, it really comes down to how is Justin Gaethje going to fend the full freaking assault from Max Holloway. Like, he's just going to come on the onslaught, the frontal assault of Max Holloway, because he's just going to pressure him. He's going to try to move all around him. He's going to light him up with punches. And not every single one of them is going to try and knock him out, but he's definitely going to be throwing a lot of punches because we've seen Max Holloway throw a lot of punches. He doesn't have a crazy power, but he has the volume to make up for it. He has the cardio to back it up. Now, I'm not counting out Justin Gaethje's cardio. Dude trains in Denver, Colorado, where the air's thinner, you know? But, it's just, how's he gonna, he's never really faced, like, high volume, fast-paced pressure that comes from Max Holloway. So that's a different kind of fighter that Justin Gaethje hasn't really seen before. And in Max Holloway's case, Justin Gaethje is the type of fighter that he hasn't really fought before. And so it's very uncertain. The odds here, it's the reason why they're so close. It's because they're both very evenly matched. And they both haven't fought somebody like the other one at all. Gaethje hasn't fought a Max Holloway. Max Holloway hasn't fought a Justin Gaethje. Like that kind of fighter. So that's what makes this even more exciting than just the name value. The matchup here. And it is super unpredictable. But guys, I'm going to say Gaethje retains. I think Gaethje's going to win. I don't think it's going to be by a finish, seeming as Max Holloway does have that chin of vibranium. But if there is a person that could crack the vibranium chin of Max Holloway, it is Justin Gaethje. But I think Justin Gaethje is going to get a decision here, and he's going to come out with the victory. But I will never, ever count Max Holloway out.
This is probably going to be my fight of the night, honestly. And I think Holloway is gonna win this.
I wouldn't be mad either way. This is the people's main event right here. Anybody that's tuning into UFC 300, this is the first fight they have on their mind. It's not the main event. I mean, the main event's great. The co-main event is awesome. But when you say UFC 300 to somebody, they're thinking of Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway. It's just because of how awesome that fight is. This is the people's main event. This is it right here. And it's going to be a banger. But we got our picks. I got Gaethje by a decision. You got Holloway.
Yep.
How so?
That's a tough one.
I think if
I'm
anything,
gonna say.
decision.
Honestly, I think he'll get late round knockout.
Really?
Yeah.
Gonna think that he's gonna.
I'm not discrediting Gaethje at all and whatnot, but in my mind, right, when I think of the two, Gaethje, I think, he's gonna knock your fucking lights out. Unfortunately,
Easy.
he's gonna knock your fucking lights out.
And it don't matter who you are.
But the thing is, Max, he's like been the permanent number two, you know?
And he
He's just
definitely
like,
wants to be number
okay,
one.
next one, all right, you're out. Next one, all right, you're out. Next one, all right, you're out. I think this is too big a chance for him to prove himself that he won't botch it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be a good fight. I'm fine with either guy winning. I'm a giant fan of both of them. But I'm the real winners here are gonna be the fans because we're gonna see a fucking banger of a fight between Max Holloway and Justin Gage. This is a fucking dream match right here,
Oh
guys.
yeah.
This is a dream match. One of my dream matches that I've ever seen, that I've had. Just because I've seen Max Holloway face Dustin Poirier before, and I've seen him face a couple of the other current lightweights, but in featherweight, I'd always wanted to see that rematch. Between Connor and Max Holloway. That would have been cool.
The best part is that
But
either of these names, you're automatically excited, and so seeing them against each other,
even more exciting.
compounds it.
So it's just going to be a crazy fight. I'm so excited for this. I think this is going to be fight of the night. This is the people's main event, and it's going to be a banger. Y'all better be on the edge of your seat for this. Buy your pay-per-view. You don't want to miss that shit. And then now we got to go into our other two title fights on the card. Our co-main event here is between Weili Zhang. Obviously, we all know her. This Chinese power lady that absolutely kills everybody that's in front of her. Versus Yan Xiaonan, this crispy striker, also from China, that murders people that's in front of her. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And a women's strawweight title on the line as well. Between two of probably the best strawweights ever. Well, maybe not ever, but at this time period, currently, these two are your very best. Obviously, that's what a strawweight title fight's supposed to be. That's what a title fight's supposed to be. It'd be the best against the best, right? So this is the first time that two Chinese fighters are actually competing for a title. So that's a big historical moment. I mean, Weili Zhang made history back in 2019 when she won. She became the first Chinese-born fighter to become a champion. And now we also have this other surging contender in Yan Xiaonan. She's a very high-paced fighter, very good striker, very, very calculated. She has put away a lot of good competition, and she's been looking dangerous. And they're both about the same age. I think they're both about 33 or 34, something like that. So they've basically been on a collision course to eventually meet each other in the octagon. And sure enough, here we are. It just so happened to be at a fortunate time when Weili Zhang's a champion. So we get to get the belt in there, some more added stakes. But both are strong, and they're coming off of wins. I mean, Weili Zhang dominated Lemos. Amanda Lemos in her last fight. If you guys haven't watched that absolute pure domination from Weili Zhang, you got to go and watch that. It is the most dominant performance that I've ever seen in my history of watching UFC, and I've seen quite a bit of dominant performances. I mean, but this one was crazy. Like, fucking 15 minutes of ground control time, some bullshit like that. Over 200 strikes thrown and landed. Fucking, I mean, a couple of submission attempts from Amanda Lemos that were tight and almost got her, but you're facing off against Weili Zhang, man. You're not gonna have a lot of fortune.
It was a way better match than just people hugging for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
Which we've also seen.
It's just crazy. It was just such a dominant performance. I've never seen a person just destroy another person like that ever. And to think I was present for it and saw it happen at every angle, it was just incredible watching that performance. Now, I'm not overly sold on Weili Zhang, I'll be honest. She's always been kind of like out in the distance for me. Like, I like you, I like how you fight, but at the same time, I'm not like completely behind you. But there are some Weili Zhang like super fans out there, and I can get why you're a super fan of hers. She just never really resonated with me, but it could be because I'm a Rose Namajunas person, and there are a little rivalry going on there. But it's just this is it's Weili Zhang. I can totally understand why a lot of people are behind you, and why there's a lot of people that love you. And I don't necessarily have a problem. I've just never really been a big fan, if that makes any sense. You know, But Yan Xiaonan is also coming off of a win streak as well. She knocked out Jessica Andrade. We mentioned her earlier in this podcast, but she knocked her out. She also fought against Macy Barber and knocked her out. So, crazy fight here. But Weili Zhang, she's looked unstoppable since, coming back into the title picture and knocking out Joanna Jędrzejczyk, being in their rematch, retiring her, then getting into the title fight against um, Carla Esparza, who just beat Nami Yunus in a fucking dance competition, it seemed, because they did not touch each other at all. And the one takedown that fucking Carla Esparza landed wanted the fucking fight, basically. So, after beating Carla Esparza at UFC 281 in New York, she's looked unstoppable. It doesn't look like anybody's stopping her anytime soon. I'm going to be honest. I mean, Yan Xiaonan is the plus 360 underdog here to Weili Zhang's minus 525 favorite, and those odds make sense to me. Because, Yan Xiaonan, she's looked good lately. She's a very good striker. She's beaten some good competition, but you're not Weili Zhang. Weili Zhang retains by probably, I'm going to say, third round knockout. What you got, Ant?
I'm gonna say Weili Zhang also. Is it a knockout? If it is a knockout, it's definitely late, round 3 or higher. But I could see this making it to decision because you don't want to go into a title fight, especially something as big as 300, without prepping yourself for it.
And you think that's what's going to happen here? It's going to be a good fight. I'm excited to see it, but Yan Xiaonan could surprise me. Weili Zhang's still a human after all, even though she looks like a human Terminator. But she's still a human. She can still be beaten, and. But it's just at the level of competition that we're talking right now, and how Weili Zhang has been, and how she has been how she's been lately, and how she's been her entire career, really only losing 2 times to Rose. That's it. It's just I don't see anybody beating Weili Zhang if your name isn't Rose Namajunas anytime soon. So, yeah, it's just I think Weili's a better fighter here, and I think she's gonna come out with the victory and get another title defense under her belt. I don't know who's next in line after that. I'd have to look at the rankings, so I couldn't tell you. But let's get through this fight first before I start matchmaking the next one, because I don't even know if she's gonna be champion by the end of it. Anyway, guys, we've made it. Was the co-main event? Now we on to the main event. You've made it, guys, and God, I've actually done it in pretty good time. So, our main event, UFC 300, Alex Poatan Pereira versus Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill for the light heavyweight title.
I said this was Khabib versus Greggy.
Nah. Nah.
Yeah. I thought you said this was Chandler versus Greggy.
Nah.
What the fuck is Greggy?
God damn it, Greggy. You had the perfect opportunity to headline UFC 300 and you fucking didn't take it. You bitch. Anyway. Here we go. Alex Poatan Pereira and Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill. I like this fight. I love it. Top to bottom, this is a very good fight. Both the guys are insanely good. They're both former and current champions. Alex Pereira, former middleweight champion, current light heavyweight champion. Jamal Hill, former light heavyweight champion. Unfortunately, he won it in a very dominant way against Glover Teixeira, 50-45 to him down the line, but unfortunately, he had to go and play some basketball and tear his Achilles. God damn it, Jamal. Both these guys are strikers. They don't like going to the ground that often. And they both got some fucking smoke behind their punches. They both got smoke. They both got power. But let me introduce to you the champion first. Alex Poatan Pereira. He has won 2 titles in 2 divisions in 7 fights in his UFC career.
Yeah, that's all the UFC.
In his UFC career. I'm not even counting his stint at Glory Kickboxing when he was a simultaneous double champion and defended both of them. It's just crazy.
Remember when we said he'd make the scariest motherfuckers list?
Yeah, he's
That's
probably
kinda
number
why.
one on the scariest
That's
motherfuckers
kind of
list.
why.
This dude has 2 titles in 2 divisions, with most UFC fighters do not accomplish. He's only on the list of, I think, 9, or it's between 9 and 12 fighters that have won titles in 2 divisions. So I'm just gonna say 10 for a healthy middle, but and an even number. But that's a feat that most people don't do. Like, it took John Jones years to get that accolade. It took Alex Pereira 7 fucking fights. And in that stint of time, he's beaten a lot of high profile guys. Need I say, he obviously fucking beat Israel Adesanya, ending his 4 or 5 year reign over the middleweight division in New York at UFC 281. And he would go on, and he beat Israel Adesanya. He beat Sean Strickland before Israel Adesanya, another former champion. I mean, of course, we didn't know he was going to be champion at the time. If you told me Sean Strickland was going to be champion back then, I would have called you fucking crazy. But here we are. But
Did you know Strickland was champion?
now I do. Now I do. Back then, though, I wouldn't have told you. Back in 2022, when that fight went down between Sean Strickland and Alex Pereira, when Alex Pereira fucking slapped him, I would have.
Not to shit on your guy, but along with Pereira making Adesanya look silly.
Oh my God, he made him look fucking.
Strickland also made him look silly.
Well, I mean, as far as the Pereira fight was concerned, that was a 5 round, the 5th round rally. Israel was winning that fight, but I gotta defend my boy at least a little bit. He was winning that fight until he wasn't. And then it's just this guy. He's fucking crazy. He's beaten a lot of high profile. Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz, now Yuri Prohaska. Those are 4 former champions. And just, oh my goodness gracious, man, this dude is on some fucking neck level shit.
In my head, I'm just hearing, feed me.
Anthony, we don't mention that. We don't mention that here.
It's like syrup.
We don't mention the R word here. We don't mention Ryback on this podcast. Anyway, so Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill probably had a very meteoric rise coming off of the Dana White's Contender Series. Had a pretty meteoric rise. He was knocking people out left and right, and eventually he nuzzled his way into a title fight after beating Johnny Walker. And then, of course, Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev fighting to a draw. He's the only guy in the top that was ranked that was coming off of a win. And Glover Teixeira didn't have an opponent at this time because he pulled out of that fight. He didn't want to fight Jan Blachowicz again. So he pulled out of that fight, and here we are. Actually, no, he didn't want to fight Magomed. They were originally going to make Glover Teixeira go against Magomed Ankalaev, but Glover Teixeira said, "Nah, I don't want to fight him. I have been preparing for Yuri Prohaska. I have not been preparing for a grappler like Magomed Ankalaev, so I'm out." So then Jan Blachowicz divvies his way in, and then he fights to a draw. And then Jamal Hill was the only ranked opponent that was coming off of a win. Glover Teixeira needs an opponent because he still needs to try to get a shot at his belt, getting his belt back, which he was 30 seconds away from defending until Yuri Prohaska locked that choke in. So Jamal Hill got the call, and Jamal Hill said, "Aye, man." And then he hung up the phone, and then they fought. Jamal Hill dominated and became a champion, and now fun fact about that, he's the first champion that came out of Dana White's Contender Series. So that's an impressive accolade, to say the least, and a big historical one. But Jamal Hill's got the smoke in his hands, but so does Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira also has some debilitating calf kicks as well that he does not telegraph at all. The way the dude throws it, you don't know that it's coming. You just kind of have to react like that. Because you can't see when it's coming. Like, a lot of times you can see when a strike's going to happen, right? Even if there's not a lot of telegraphing, there's always a tiny bit of telegraphing. Like, you might know what's coming at you. He does not telegraph this shit at all. And he just whips it out there, and it connects. And he's also got, when you're not worried about the leg kicks, he's got a freaking crazy left hook that will put you on your ass. He's putting so many UFC fighters out with that left hook. Ask Israel Adesanya, he did that to him twice. Ask fucking Sean Strickland, who went out like that. Ask Yuri Prohaska, who ate it and went down. And I mean, I think the only person that ate a clean Alex Pereira left hook was Jan Blachowicz, honestly. He just ate it and then kept going. But everybody else, those three guys reacted. They got knocked the fuck out with that left hook. So that's one of his best weapons. And like he could get you so occupied with worrying about his leg kick that you forget about the left hook. And then here it comes. And then, oh shit, now you're on your ass. Short followed and quick nap. You know? But Jamal Hill, bro, he's a very awkward fighter. And he's also a southpaw. Southpaw unorthodox. Usually the southpaw always has an advantage. He can see the right coming a little bit easier. And you know, it's just he's a little bit of an awkward fighter. He fights weirdly, but it's weirdly effective. And like it's just I can't even describe how Jamal Hill fights. It's just weird. But it works. And then he finds your button and then he knocks you out. And he's done this with every single one of his opponents. He fights awkwardly, which not a lot of people are used to. He fights unorthodox like, and I mean we've seen Alex Pereira deal with unorthodox fighters like Yuri Prohaska, for example, very unorthodox fighter, right? But he still found a way to land that left hook. But it's because Yuri Prohaska tried to be a grappler. I'm like, Yuri Prohaska, you're not a grappler. I know you won the championship by submission, but like, dude, that was a Hail Mary submission. You're not a grappler. And but Jamal Hill is. The dude can grapple. I mean, he prefers to stand and bang, but he can grapple. He's good all around. He's a very balanced fighter. He's a good mixed martial artist. Wow. If you fight in MMA, you're good at both things? Holy shit. But Jamal Hill's got that extra leg up. And I mean, Alex Pereira has turned some of the world's best strikers into grapplers. Ask Israel Adesanya. He turned Israel Adesanya into a grappler. And Israel Adesanya, don't put that man on the ground. It's not good.
I was gonna say, listen, if there's a scary beefy Brazilian charging at you,
Mm-hmm.
you do a bit of reaching, okay?
Yeah, exactly. It's just he turned Israel Adesanya, one of the best strikers to ever do it, into a fucking grappler. He's turned so many good strikers into grapplers, and it's just crazy. But that's the problem, though. That's the problem, though. Alex Pereira got taken down by Israel Adesanya. Listen to that. Alex Pereira got taken down by Israel Adesanya. That doesn't happen. So, it's just, and when you have somebody like Jamal Hill who can adapt with what he's given, obviously he's going to want to start on the feet. He's going to want to knock you out. But if he has to turn into a grappler, which a lot of strikers have turned into grapplers with Alex Pereira, I think Jamal Hill's going to have success. He's just overall a good fighter, and he's the only guy that has like the same amount of power coming back at him. I mean, Israel Adesanya's got power, but his power comes from finding it. It comes from sniping it. It comes from finding your chin. It doesn't just come with a straight right down the middle and you're knocked out. Nah, Israel Adesanya is a sniper. The reason why he knocked out Alex Pereira is because he found the shot. He found the shot in the fight. And if Israel Adesanya is able to find the shot and act on it, who's to say that Jamal Hill doesn't even have to find the shot and just connects and it smokes Alex Pereira? I mean, I know Alex Pereira's not cutting as much weight so he can absorb more strikes now, but at the same time, man, that's like an equal amount of power coming on both sides. Like Alex Pereira can put Jamal out in one shot. Jamal can put Alex Pereira out in one shot. It's a very intriguing matchup to see who will find it first, or who's going to be able to adapt correctly in order to get to that point, to get to win. So it makes it hard for this fight to predict. I mean, on paper, when you first see it, you're going to think Alex Pereira, obviously. But you got to keep in mind the shit that Jamal Hill has done to this point and how good he actually is. So, yeah, I think it's going to be closer than people are making it out to be. And I think it's going to be very close for both guys. But if I'm going to be honest, man, Jamal Hill sees something in Alex Pereira. He sees something that he can capitalize on, and he's very confident in saying it. And he might not be saying it, but he might not like reveal what he sees, but he definitely sees something that he can get an upper hand on. So who's to say he isn't training that thing that he saw daily in his training camp. I'm going to be honest, guys. Give me Jamal Hill by a third-round knockout. I think Alex Pereira is going to go down here.
I'm gonna say Pereira round 3 knockout.
Yeah, I mean, it's good either way.
Yeah.
But it's just how confident. I don't know if it's just smoke and mirrors, but Jamal Hill's a pretty real guy. And just his attitude going into this fight when he challenged Alex Pereira after he won the title in November of this past year. He just seemed like he had something in mind. Like this like I got this gut feeling like he sees something that I'm not seeing. And I think he's probably training that and he's going to capitalize on it. That's why I'm going with Jamal Hill because I know it's a little silly, but I'm just saying I got that sixth sense that he's seeing something that I'm not seeing, and he's going to capitalize on it. And he's also talking to Israel Adesanya about how to beat him. So, which, I mean, probably the bad guy, the worst guy to ask, but, that's that. I got Jamal Hill. You got Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
Either way, this is going to be a good fight. I think out of anybody in this division, Jamal Hill poses the biggest threat to Alex Pereira, at least as the striking is concerned. Magomed Ankalaev, I think, actually has the biggest threat to Alex Pereira, seeming as he's a specialist grappler. And Jamal don't do well with grapplers. And not Jamal, Alex Pereira don't do well with grapplers. He can't even do well with strikers acting as grapplers. So, it's just, I think Magomed Ankalaev and Jamal Hill were the two people in this division that could give Alex Pereira some trouble. And if he's able to beat Jamal Hill here, and if he drills more takedown defense with Glover Teixeira, which he has been doing, I think if he beats Jamal Hill here, nobody's beating Alex Pereira at 205 for a while. I'm just going to leave it at that. But if Jamal Hill wins, once again, the dark horse is always Magomed Ankalaev. I don't know when that happens or how they're going to react, but if it were to end up being a fight, I think Jamal Hill stands a bit better chance against Magomed than Alex Pereira does. But I'm talking about matchups that I shouldn't even be talking about right now. This one right here, banger fight, UFC 300, this Saturday, April 13th, starting at 6 p.m. Those early prelims and the main card starts at 10. So, guys, lock in. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be an awesome fight card. This is a historical event, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. It's going to be a great experience for everybody. And, of course, go and hit us up on all the socials at Front Row Access. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and here on YouTube.
Pepsi, Prime.
Pepsi, hit me up. FrontRowAccess@gmail.com. Prime, hit me up. Same email address. And, of course, guys, thank you for sticking around with us. I hope we didn't take up too much of your time. Thank you for watching, and